Do you ever get frustrated in business? People just can't see the bigger picture. And you can try and explain it to them, they just can't grasp it. It's frustrating. And ultimately, it leads to things not being done, misunderstandings, and the business doesn't move forward. Today, I'm going to talk about the 3 steps to creating metaphors, which in your communication will allow people to understand, really be able to grasp the bigger picture, and at the same time lead to actions which can move the business forward. So, let's get started. So my friend asked me, Dale, how do you actually construct these metaphors? I said, well, think about when you were a little child and you used to have car sets. So you had like the little car, you put it on the top of the track, and then you had the finish line. Now, after you designed the track, you put the pieces in, and it could be you needed to go around a corner, maybe you needed to go over a bridge, you had an obstacle in the way. But the end is we want to try and get to the finish line, and we want that car to move smoothly. Now, also, you've got to consider what car. If you use the big monster truck, probably not going to fit on the tracks. You need a car that fits right for the purpose to go on the journey. Now, I was quite excited about this metaphor, so I told my wife, and she was like, I don't quite get it. So I'm like, okay, well, imagine you're baking a cake. Now, you know with the cake that you want, you know the ingredients, and you know you've got to follow certain instructions in order to get there. Now, it could be along the way, the dough's a bit too dry, so you need to add a little bit of extra water to fix that problem, overcome that, and then you have a nicely baked cake at the end. That's how we use metaphors in communication. Step 1 is preparation. We need to know what we're actually trying to achieve. So let's use an example. So imagine I'm in a business and I want to add a new process. Now, that might be all well and good, easy, new process, but let's just imagine that people don't like change. They're used to things being a certain way. Creates a different situation. So realistically, we want the new change process to happen, and we want the people, as much as possible, to be happy and to go with the change process. So we've got where we're at and where we're going to. So we've got our key points. But if we look at actually what makes up that scenario, we've got me, if I'm the business or the business owner, or if it's a bigger corporation, the business as a whole. You've got the group of people you're presenting the message to, and you've got the change process, or it's more of an action, the action of that change process. Another example would be, let's just say you want to get a group of people to work more efficiently. Okay, could be okay, but they might think they're not working hard, they're not doing a good job, could be a potential issue or a barrier. So if we go back to who's in that again, there's me or the business, you've got the group of people, and you've got a level of efficiency. So things need to be changed in order to be done better or to be improved. Now that doesn't mean the old ones are bad, there's just a better way of doing it. So it's really about, okay, what's the intention? What do I actually want to achieve? What obstacles do I want to go around? And what are the elements that make up that situation? Step 2 is to consider the demographic of the people you're presenting to. For example, if I'm to talk to someone who's 15 or 16 about cassette tapes, vinyl and VCR, there's a high chance that they're not going to understand where I'm coming from. They're not going to understand the language. Similarly, if I'm going to talk to a more senior citizen, there's a lower chance that they're going to understand things that are very technological, AI. It's not mutually exclusive, but you've got to think about the sort of metaphor you're going to present. Are the people going to understand it? We need to consider things like gender. If I'm to use a sports-based metaphor, say football or soccer, and I present to an audience, men are going to have a higher likeliness of understanding and connecting with that metaphor than women on average. And if I was to do a metaphor talking about makeup and beauty routines, higher chance women will understand that a lot more than men. So you've really got to think about the age, gender and culture that you are presenting to, because you want to really make sure you have a metaphor that resonates. So now we've got the ingredients. Step 3 is bringing them all together in a metaphor. Now this does take practice. So here's a few different examples, and this is how you actually do it. So you take your ingredients. So if we look at the first example of a new process, we've got an organization or a business. We've got a group of people who don't really like change, and we've got change. So we want to think about a change that people like. So if you think about what things have occurred where a person or an organisation has created change that people like as a whole. Think about it, what could that be like? One example, in the UK, in English football, or soccer for those of you in the US, there was big controversy over using technology within the sport. They thought it would kill the sport, it would be drastic, terrible. But in tennis, when you serve a ball, you can actually call to see with technology if the ball is over the line, if it's in or if it's out. Initially, there was a bit of a challenge with the sport, but they actually introduced that into football within the UK, and now it's really accepted and the fans actually love it and see it's great value. Another option is Starbucks. A lot of people get a Starbucks on their commute to work. Great store, so not endorsing Starbucks, but it's a great way to get your coffee. Now, not so long ago, many people used to turn up to Starbucks in the morning, the staff were overworked, there was a lot of different stuff to do, and then they introduced technology where you can order ahead of time. Customers can order their coffee ahead of time, so the staff can do their work, it's more spread out, but they put the coffee there, the customer's happy, the staff are happy, they're not overloaded with work. A great example of successful process change that's impacted lots of people, that's made life easier, made things more enjoyable, and everybody's really connected to that. Now, if we're looking at the second example of a business, a group of people again, but it's looking at efficiency, increasing efficiency. So I was driving to work the other day and I was going down a road and there was a road work and it blocked my path. It really stopped me from moving forward. But I was like, well, let's go right. I've never gone that way before. And I actually turned that way and went down the road and I actually found out it was a lot quicker. So I was getting to the same outcome, but it really quickly and effectively. And all it did was a slight change in the direction, and I was actually a lot more efficient getting to work. And I took that route from now on. The Starbucks example also works quite well in this situation as well. So the key elements are: find out what are the ingredients that make up this ideal metaphor and what situations in life do these things occur. So it takes practice, but it's great fun. And when you use it, the understanding you'll create will help people see the bigger picture, reduce resistance, and allow outcomes to be hit, not only for your business, but also for the people you're working with. So those are the 3 steps for creating a great metaphor in business. Step 1, prepare. Know what your outcome is. Know what you're looking to achieve so you can get there. And if there are any bridges you need to build or things you need to overcome during it. Also think about, okay, what are the building blocks of this situation so you can come up with that great metaphor. Step 2, know your demographic. Know the people you're communicating to, or think about what things are going to land for them so it makes sense. And step 3, bring those things together. Think, okay, that whole situation, what's it like? Where do I know other examples in life, in nature, that overcome that challenge? And what you will find is people will understand you, they'll resonate more, and action will be taken in the right direction. So if you've liked this video, found it quite interesting and be interested to hear more, click the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.